Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about, does crypto copy trading work? Is crypto copy trading safe? I've been excited to make this video for a while. I've wanted to always do a little bit of copy trading in crypto. I'll share some of the backstory with you in a moment. I was familiar with this because I did it previously years ago in the Forex market, so I knew exactly what it was. So being able to find the right platform, and being able to test this out. I've actually been testing this out for about 3 months, and what I'm going to be sharing with you is just directly from my experience the past 3 months. So let's just go ahead and get into this. A quick disclaimer. This is not sponsored content. I don't necessarily have anything against sponsored content. Every now and again, I do sponsored content on this channel as well. However, I will always share with you up front if the content is sponsored. This is not sponsored content. There are always affiliate links in the description. You can check out those affiliate links and you will be supporting the channel. But no one paid for me to do this video and no one told me to do this video. I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time. As I previously said, this is based on my personal experience actually doing this for the past 3 months. But I've been doing it. I'm going to share with you kind of what I've learned. I'm going to talk to you about what you kind of need to know before you try something like this. By the way, just a quick heads up and another disclaimer, nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I'm a very enthusiastic cryptocurrency YouTuber. I love this technology. I love this space. I love earning passive income with cryptocurrency, but I'm not a financial advisor. So use this video as a starting point for you to be able to do your own research. And by the way, if you love cryptocurrency and you love passive income, do me a favor, smash that like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon, and click all. So let's go ahead and get into this. First of all, if you don't know, what is crypto copy trading? So this is where you literally are able to put funds in your account. The funds don't leave your account, but you can choose other successful traders, and I'll show you how we figure out who's successful here in a moment. But you can choose to follow or copy other successful traders. How this basically works is you have an account at the exchange. You'll see a list of traders, and we'll actually do this here in a moment. I'll show you how it works, and you can just click on, I like this trader, I like their results, I like their risk profile, and you can just click a button and essentially you allocate part of your funds. So if you have a $50,000 account, you can say, hey, I want $5,000 of that account to be funded toward this trader. When they make a trade in their account, then your account will automatically mirror their trade. So if they use 3% of their account to make a trade, 3% of your account will make the same trade. Even if their account is smaller or larger than yours, it's based on percentages. If they use 10% of their account to make a trade, then you'll use 10% of your account to make a trade. It's totally passive, it's totally automated, and you're able to hopefully reap the passive profits of another trader's work. It's totally free to do, meaning you don't have to pay anything up front. The traders do earn like a percentage of any trades that are profitable. So some of the benefits of crypto copy trading or copy trading in general is that it can be low risk and high reward, meaning it doesn't take a lot of money to get started, a couple $100 at least. I got started originally, I brought in $5,000, something like that originally. So that's not what you necessarily have to bring in. That's what I brought in. So the other benefit is it's totally passive. I shouldn't say it's totally passive because you have to do some research to be able to pick a trader, and I'll show you how to do that here in a moment. But what I will tell you is once you find a trader you want to follow, when they're making profits, you're making profits. You don't have to sit in front of a computer screen. You don't have to learn how to trade. You don't have to learn different trading techniques. You can kind of follow other traders and see what their techniques are. You can look at how risky they are, and you can find someone who matches your risk profile. Once you set it up, though, it's very passive. I mean, basically, you can check your account typically, maybe once or twice a day, get an idea of how much you made that day and where, what trades have closed and opened. You can just look in the history. It shows you everything. It's fully transparent. That's pretty awesome. Another one of the big benefits is just that it takes less time. It reduces time for you, bottom line. That's what I'm trying to say when I say it's passive trading. It ultimately just takes less time for you. Some factors to consider before starting crypto copy trading, or what you should be aware of, kind of risk factors at the same time that you should be aware of. First of all, the one factor is you want to choose what platform you're going to use. The platform that I use, the link is in the description. I use BingX. I've not used a lot of the other platforms. I like BingX. It's one of the first ones I found. I saw they had very low deposit minimums initially, so I just made a small deposit to make sure that would go well. And then I just tested out a trader, and I saw it was going really well. One good thing I will tell you about Bing, I have dealt with their customer service through their chat function. And even though they're overseas, typically it's like they get back to me overnight, but I've always had them get back to me. They've always communicated really well. I like that. When I had issues with Binance, I could not talk to somebody live. It took days to get a response back from email. So I like that BingX's customer service is really, really good. Again, I'm not saying they're the best platform out there. I'm saying they're the platform that I use. I've had a good experience with them, and therefore I really like them. Something else you need to be aware of is selecting a strategy and a trader. So when it comes to strategies, I'll kind of explain my strategy a little bit later in the video. But basically, you want to think about what sort of strategy you want with this. And you'll notice that some people use a very high risk, short term strategy, meaning they're following traders who take on a lot of risk. And most of those traders are not able to be successful long term. They can make hundreds of percent a month in some cases, but eventually they're going to basically go bankrupt in their account. Some people like that because they follow a strategy of, I'm just going to put in, say, $1,000 or $500, and every day I'm going to scrape profits. Some people use that strategy. That's not necessarily a strategy that I want to use, but some people like that strategy. A lower risk, a longer term strategy is sort of my play. And I would say that I'm definitely lower risk than what I just explained to you. There are traders on BingX, and I'll show you in a minute how you can tell this, but there are traders that have been trading for over 1,000 days. That might be a good trader to follow. You want to look at the rest of their track record, but that's a good thing. Another thing is you want to, when it comes to picking a trader, you want to look at how profitable are they, and you're able to look at how profitable have they been over the past 30 days, the past 90 days. You can always go all the way out to 6 months. How profitable have they been? You want to look at how long have they been trading. Now, I don't think that you necessarily have to always choose a trader that's been trading for 1,000 days. I just think that that goes into your risk calculation. How long have they actually been trading on the platform? Now, some of these traders will say in their description they've been trading for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, and that's fine. But you can look at the platform. How long have they been on BingX, and how long have they been trading on there? That's what's important to me to look at. And again, I don't necessarily have a problem with a new trader who's starting out well, but I'm probably going to put a lot less money on someone like that versus someone who has a longer term track record. I have almost $5,000 with my best trader, just so you know. And they're doing about 10% a month right now. So another thing that you can look at with your trader is how much is in their real account. So you can find traders that are trading well over 6 figures in their trading account. This is important because if you see someone with $10 or $20 or $30,000 in their account versus someone who has $500 in their account, the person that has $500 in their account, this isn't 100% fact, but clearly they're going to trade a little bit differently versus someone who has $20,000 or $100,000 in their account. I tend to like to see people who have more in their account. Again, you can make an argument why smaller accounts are important because people want to trade and they want to be very clear in their trading and they want to be logical, they want to be objective, and they don't want to get emotional about their funds. And they could even argue that this is in their main account. They've got this other much bigger account here, but they're going to use a small account because it helps them keep the emotions in check. That argument could make sense, but as an investor following other investors, we don't really know what's going on. All we know is what we can see on the platform. And the platform tells you exactly how much is in their trading account. So I do like to see the larger accounts. This one is a big one for me, max drawdown. You can see what their max drawdown has been. Now, drawdown is what has been their largest percent lost over the whole account. What's the biggest loss they've ever sustained in a day? Is it 5%? Is it 25%? This max drawdown is important because if someone has had very small losses or no losses over the course of a month, then I find that to be a positive sign. And I'll show you more about how you can investigate these traders here in a moment when we actually go to the platform. But I like looking at that. Now, if someone has a big loss for the day, let's just say they've never taken a loss for the month. The biggest loss they've ever had in a week is 1 or 2%, but they've had a 27% loss in a day before. Well, you got to keep that in mind. If you had $100 in there, it might not be a big deal. But if you had $100,000 in there and they took a 27% drawdown, for example, in a single day, you might not want to follow that trader with a large amount if you wouldn't be prepared to handle something like that kind of pullback in your account. So you got to think about how your emotions are going to respond as well. By the way, you can trade with multiple traders, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. It's important that you understand some of the risk involved. We touched on some of these, but one is exchange risk. In crypto, we say not your keys, not your crypto. Meaning if it's not in your Trezor if it's not in a wallet that you can control, you're entrusting and hoping someone else is safe, is holding your crypto safely. Since we're using the BingX exchange, our funds are on the BingX exchange. So there is some exchange risk. If, God forbid, BingX was to run off with the money, that would be a problem, obviously. If they somehow got hacked, then that would be a problem. If the government came in for some reason and shut them down, that could be a potential problem that could put our capital at risk. So you have to be aware of that. The other risk is trader's risk. Who are the traders that we're following? If a trader starts trading, there's nothing that prevents them from suddenly changing their trading strategy. And if they were to do that, now they may tell us, because the platform I'm going to show you, you can sometimes see communication from the trader. They have like a live feed where they can communicate, and they may say, hey, I'm adjusting my strategy. Here's what I'm doing. So you got to be aware that there's always trader's risk that the trader could change up what they're doing. Your funds are following that trader. So if they decide to wake up tomorrow and start taking on double the risk, then your funds are going to be at risk. So you got to be aware of that. That's why it's better not to put all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to choosing a trader. The other risk you have to be aware of is your personal greed. You will always see hotshot traders that are having incredible weeks, incredible months. And it's very easy to think, I want to test that out. They made 300% a month. What if I'd have just put a small amount with them and just left it there 1 month? I'd have tripled my money and I could have pulled it out. That kind of thinking is going to get you in trouble. And you're going to potentially follow somebody that could cost you money. They could wreck the account, which means wreck your funds, or at least the funds you allocate to them. Now, keep that in mind. If you wanted to follow a higher risk trader with less of a track record, you could always put a small amount with them. You could put a couple $100s with them. I mean, that's always a possibility. If they blow it, it's not as big a deal if you have a much bigger account. If that's only, 5 or 10% of your total account, that would be less of a big deal. And if they did really well, then that would be awesome. You'd be able to benefit from that as well. But you've got to keep your greed in check. The best way to do this is to have a plan. I'm looking for traders that are able to make 3% a month, 5% a month, 10% a month, and with minimal risk. So then you can start sorting traders. You can start browsing traders that make that percentage roughly, and then you can start also narrow it down to several traders. Maybe come up with 5, 6, or 7, and then look at their risk profile and who's less risky. Now keep in mind, most traders are not successful, bottom line. The other thing you have to keep in mind is even successful traders are not successful in every market and every season all the time. So here's kind of a ninja tip. When the market's doing well and it's going up, pick your traders. When the market starts going down for a week or 2 or 3 or 4, look at who's winning then. And then you can always kind of diversify by having a trader that does better in an upward market and then having another trader that does better in a downward market. Just because someone does better in an upward market doesn't mean they lose money if the market is going down. It just means that they tend to be biased to the upside and they do better when the market is going up. Successful traders oftentimes can make money if the market is going up or down. So just keep that in mind. I want to compare copy trading to other types of trading that we see in crypto right now. One thing that we're seeing that's taking place is this NFT trading, where you have to buy an NFT, and when you buy that NFT, now all of a sudden you get profits back every week or every month from someone's trading bot. I'm not a fan of this. It's not necessary to use an NFT to be able to access or to follow a successful trader. And it is my belief, and I can't prove this, and I'm not saying everyone is doing this, but it is my belief when you buy those NFTs, you're basically funding somebody else's trading account. Or worse, you're buying into a Ponzi scheme and you don't know it, and they're going to start using those funds to pay you out in interest. Because here's the thing, point number 3 here, rarely are any of those NFT trading projects actually transparent. And they're oftentimes paying you some very consistent, income. And if someone's paying you 1% a day or 2% a day, I've never ever seen a successful trader ever in the lifetime of the market that could produce that week after week, month after month, year after year for any extended period of time. Anybody can do it for a season, but almost nobody can do it long term. The other thing with these NFTs, when you buy them, they tend to be illiquid. It's not super easy to sell them. And if you do sell them on OpenSea or something, you usually sell them for less than what you bought them for. The other type of trading that we're seeing right now is AI bot trading. AI is all the rage, but here's the issue. Again, it's not transparent, which makes no sense because when you're copy trading, you can see every single freaking trade that they close. You can see all the history. You can see when they open a trade. You can see what trades are open, what kind of leverage they're using if they're using leverage. Like it's 1,000% transparent. But a lot of times NFT trading and AI bot trading, it's not transparent at all. Rarely can you even see a track record of closed trades. And sometimes you can't even withdraw your funds. Some of these AI bot trading platforms, you just deposit the funds or you quote unquote buy the bot or buy the NFT and your funds are essentially gone or locked up in some cases altogether. And that just sucks. When it comes to traditional trading, first of all, it can be a large time commitment just to learn. But once you learn it, then you're talking about trying to always pay attention to the charts. You're spending a lot of time, screen time in front of the computer. You got a lot to learn. It's a large learning curve. Plus, there's an emotional learning curve, managing the fear and greed of your emotions. When you're copy trading, once you pick a trader, you don't really have to worry so much about what's going on. You can almost ignore it. You allocate funds to the trader and then move away, move along. The other thing with traditional trading is it's just not very passive, because most typically you're trying to pay attention, follow the market, you're engaged, you're in front of the computer. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do some traditional trading, and I will even admit my trade setups are not super active. I kind of monitor them about once a day, but still it does take a bit more monitoring, for example, than it takes once you're able to choose and pick a successful trader. By the way, if you want to find out exactly what traders that I'm using, you can go down in the description and subscribe to my crypto wealth copy trading journey. Follow my journey from $500 to $5,000 per month copy trading. You'll be able to find out exactly what traders I'm using, how I pick the traders that I'm going to copy, my complete copy follow plan. You're going to get honest, transparent updates. I'm going to show you my wins. I'm going to show you my losses, because this is really a bit of a journal for me. You're going to see what works and what doesn't, at least for me, what works for me and what doesn't work for me. I'm going to let you know all of that. So go down, put your name, your email in. You'll have to confirm your subscription. If you watch this video within the next 2 days, I'll be sending out an email, and then everybody else who signs up will know who the traders are that I'm choosing to copy. And I'll even talk to you about why I picked the traders that I ended up picking. So let's go ahead and take a look at the platform. Then I'll come back and kind of talk about my strategy a bit. If you want to sign up, super easy to sign up, and you can literally be following somebody within 60 seconds. Click on register. All it takes is for you to enter your email and your password, and then click register. That will highlight once you put in an email password, or you can put in your phone number. Click register, done. That's all you have to do. And you're registered. Literally, you can start trading. Once you get registered, you'll see a screen that looks like this. You'll come over to copy. You'll go over to deposit. On this screen, you can choose USDT. You can choose BEP20, for example. And if you do that, it's going to give you the address. Look at this. Minimum deposit, 80 cents. Watch this. If you do, was it Polygon? Minimum deposit, 90 cents. That's crazy. Now, once you make a deposit, you're ready to start following traders. So all you got to do is come up here to copy trading and click on copy trading right here. You can see there's trending traders, there's conservative traders, 19% over 180 days, 8% over 180 days. So you can find all sorts of stuff. Rising stars. Rising stars are probably the most dangerous because they're typically really new, and they always show a 7-day ROI that's really high. So if you're looking for a high risk trader or just a new trader, that's where you would go. Then there's all traders. So I want to show you something. You can come here, you can filter. You can filter by the account level. I normally don't mess with this. You can cumulative profit and loss. This is really good. You can filter by account assets. Remember I told you earlier, you can look up exactly how much they have in their account. So maybe you want people that have at least $1,000 in their account, or even, $10,000 plus dollars. Let's just say $4,000, right? I just want to make sure they have a little bit in their account. You can look at copiers, how many other people are already following them. So maybe you want them to have at least 1,000 people following them. Cumulative earnings, how much has the copiers earned in total? What's been the 30-day ROI? What's their risk profile? 1 to 9. We'll look at risk profiles in a moment. What's their win percentage? What is the profit and loss ratio? Average holding time. I don't personally care that much about that. Trade days. 1 day or 600 plus days. You can go here, confirm. I just want to show you this. Let's just look at Marco here. So Marco, 32% in the past 30 days. In the past 90 days has made 46%. Past 180 days, 132%. Look at this. He has $10,750 in his personal account. Here's a ninja tip as well. Every month, just check this balance, because some people skim the profits off every week or every month. That's important to know. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but that lets you know what they think about their own risk appetite sometimes. It could be a clue to that. So if they're like, hey, this is working, but sooner or later this account's going to blow up, what they could be doing is skimming profits off the account. Again, that might not be a bad thing, but if the trader's skimming profits off their account, you might want to be skimming profits off your account. Just be aware of that. Meaning, if you have $1,000 and all of a sudden you make $1,500, then maybe take $500 off that and get back to $1,000. Copier profits. This is huge. $1.4 million he's made for all of his copiers. Currently, there's 18,000 people following this guy. His win ratio is 81%, pretty good. Risk profile is a little bit high at 4, but it's been working clearly. Let's see what his risk profile has been over the past 90 days. The highest has been 5. Let me explain what this risk profile means. If it's a 1, that's just the standard. If someone's at a 2, it means they're twice as likely to blow up the account or bankrupt the account or bankrupt whatever funds you have allocated to them. They're twice as likely to do that as opposed to someone who's a 1. If there's a 4 in this case, or a 3 is 3 times as likely as someone who has a 1. If they're a 4 times as likely, and so on, 5 times as likely. In this case, it looks like, see, it's a little bit more risky than I would want him to be. It looks like he stays right around a 3. This is interesting. I told you earlier, what's the max drawdown in a day? 27%. Max drawdown in a week is 38%. Could you stomach 38% of your funds being gone inside of a week? Because he's done that before. The worst month is 13%. So that's good. Looks like he's made this back on this when he had this really bad week. Ultimately, he probably made some of it back. Let's look at 180 days. So about 6 months or so, this has been the track record. So he had a large loss there, was making it back, took another loss, and then he bounced up here. I mean, this part here is a little bit wonky. 65,000 cumulative earnings that he's made for himself, 1.4 million for followers. I mean, I wouldn't just not choose this guy, but you got to be aware of this. This could happen. It looks like he almost lost the account right there. And that can happen when people take on a risk. You get the idea. You can also look at their current positions. This is what he currently has open right now. You can look at trade history. He definitely had some losses, but he's also had some wins. View more. Some more wins here. Wins. Okay, so there's one more thing you can look at too, which I think is important. I just like to know average loss, average profit, number of losing trades, number of winning trades. Where's it? Margin mean. So he uses on his trades at least $100. So if he's only using $100, that's not too much for an account that's $10,000. That's 1%. That's not too bad. And that means he probably has some discipline. He has some rules that he's sticking to. I don't hate this guy. I don't love him. There's 3 things you can do when you see a trader. You can follow them, which means you'll just be able to, stay up to date on what they're doing. You can also fund them. So if I want to, copy someone, you just click copy. It just basically asks you how much money do you want to fund that particular trader with. One thing you can do is you can fund them. Say you have $10,000 in your account or $5,000 in your account. You can put a couple $100 on him and see how he does. You can put $50 on him, see how he does. Let it run for a couple months and see how you feel about it. I tend to do that when I'm thinking I want to invest in somebody. I told you if you want to find out exactly who I'm following, you could go down below and subscribe. But I will tell you, one of the people that I'm watching right here is this guy here. Doesn't have much of a track record, so I don't like that. But look at this account, $122,000 in his account. That's pretty crazy. He's only got 856 copiers. He's already made them $8,679. Now, here's the problem with this guy. He's only been trading for 4 weeks. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. I think it's like $150, $120 on this guy just to watch it because I feel like I get a better idea when I can actually see how he's opening trades, how they're closing, and I can kind of monitor it day to day in real time. But again, there's a couple more traders I'm following, and I'll let you know who I'm following. Just subscribe down below. I'm also going to share with you kind of my thoughts when I pick out a new trader, why I picked them out, what I was looking for, and that sort of thing as well. You can come down here. You can look at the most conservative traders, rising stars. Let me kind of show you a high level view of kind of my strategy. So my strategy is I like having a foundational group of traders, 1 or 2 or 3 traders, somebody that has a long track record that's been pretty profitable. I like shooting for that 5 to 10% per month. That's who I'm going to put the bulk of my funds with. There's going to be several $1,000s with that trader. And then I like to get it to a certain point, and then I'm going to start skimming some profits off the top, just withdrawing from the platform. Now, what I will also do is I'll take 2 or 3 high-risk traders, and I'll fund them initially with maybe $100, $50, $150, just kind of watch them. And when they have my confidence, then I'll add maybe $500 in there. And at that point with those traders, I will almost immediately kind of do a half and half. 50% I'll reinvest, 50% I'll kind of skim off the top. If I see something that I'm nervous about, if all of a sudden, I'm giving you some strategy here, so you don't even have to subscribe by email. So if I'm following somebody, Marco Rus, I am following him. I don't have any funds on him yet, but I'm watching him. But this guy here, he's got some 5s. If all of a sudden I saw a candle got really red here and it got in that 6, 7, 8, I would probably be done with him because that's dangerous. I feel like that's my warning sign before he blows the accounts. So I'm going to be monitoring, each week the traders I know most of them are going to lose money over time. So give me 3 to 5 traders to just kind of watch and monitor, and I'll keep an eye on their risk profile, how they do with the accounts. And if I see that I get really big drawdowns, then a lot of times that's going to be a red flag, especially if they're new drawdowns. Like they've been trading for 3 or 4 months, never had a problem, and suddenly we get a 50, 60% drawdown. Depending on who the trader is, I may not take funds away, but I'm probably not going to add any more funds as well. So you just kind of want to be aware of that. So overall, a quick recap here. Copy trading is basically where you're just following someone else's successful trading track record. It's at the end of the day. It allows you to diversify between trading strategies and risk profiles, and it's 100% passive for you. You are taking some exchange risk and you are taking some trader risk, and you have to be aware of that as well. But it's really passive. This, for me, copy trading is one of my 3 fundamental favorite passive income strategies, or nearly passive, because you don't have to do a lot of work once you pick out your traders that you want to follow. If you've liked this video, then do me a favor, leave a thumbs up, leave me a like. If you have any questions, please put them down below in the comment section. I will definitely try to respond to any questions that you may have. And if you want to kind of follow my journey from $500 per month, spoiler alert, that's what I earned this past month, and I'll show you that once you subscribe down below. But if you want to follow my journey from $500 to $5,000, including see my losses and see what I learned from the losses that I've made along the way, then it's going to be fully transparent. Go ahead down below, put in your name and email. Thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.